Hi everyone and welcome back to Stitchwork Creations. This is a doll that I did as a bit of a challenge. I'd totally forgotten about Valentine's Day, shh, don't tell the husband, and I thought, crap, I need to make a doll quick, and I've only got 10 days to do this, so let's see if I can do it. I've got this pre-rerouted doll, I think it's a Frankenstein, the one where she's in all of her black and white clothes, and I'd rerouted her in this grass green and pink, thinking to do it for some kind of spring vibe, and then forgot about her. I've got a selection of different fabrics because I'm trying to go for a cottagecore theme. With her face re-cleaned and prepped with some Mr. Super Clear UV flat, I'm going to give her a nice dusting of some pink pastels and give her a little bit of blush. I had a comment on one of the videos asking for me to tell people how many layers I do on my dolls, and it varies massively. So this is layer 1 and I'll mark when there is a layer 2. I'm trying to sketch out her eyes. I was trying to go for a little bit of a sweet but sultry look, and I got very frustrated because I had to do them about 3 or 4 times. Layer 2. I've got some new eyes drawn up, the ones I like now, and I'm just going to try and dust on some eyebrow shapes with some pastels. This is layer 3. I've built up her eyebrows and done some fine lines with some pencils, and now I'm going to start deepening those lines around her eyes. Looking back on these videos and seeing how slowly I actually work is quite boggling. When I watch other videos to other doll artists and seeing how things come alive, it doesn't seem like a lot of work, but it really is. This is layer 4. Actually a little bit shiny on this one. MSC is a little bit temperamental in the colder weather. So I'm going in with a dark grey, trying to deepen the lines in her eyes and on her eyelashes, and then bringing some light highlights to her iris. Layer 5. So because we layer up every time the pencil stops working in an area, or we feel like we're happy with progress and we want to save it, put another coat of MSC on, and then we'll build up from there. So this again, I'm just going back in with some more black, and every layer I've been darkening these eye lines and her eyelashes, because it seems to, I don't know, the MSC kind of mists it ever so slightly, but I'm going for some serious winged eyeliner. Now I'm going to give her hands some of the same treatment that my solstice fairy had, because I just thought it looked really pretty, and I think I might do this more often. And this is one layer of Mr. Super Clear, dusting around the knuckles, and then I've drawn on some details with some pencils. So we've got 5 layers of MSC on the face, and one to seal on her hands. So now she's out of her hair burrito, we can see what she looks like, and I've chosen this fabric to make her a tea style nighty dress, and I got a hat that was far too small, but I found a bigger one later on, so it's all good. I'm rubbish with hair, so I called in the cavalry. This is Sky, my son's girlfriend, and she is going to attempt to do some Dutch braids. I think in the end she said it's far too bloody fiddly, and that's all she's going to do, because she was getting really cross with it. But thank you very much, Sky. It's much better than I could do. And onto her outfit. This is a pattern by DG Requiem Arts. This is the Petite Fashion Dolls tea gown dress. I'm just going to ruffle up the top of the sleeve. I'm really not the best person to follow, because I just bodge it until it works. For decent ways of making clothes for dolls, I would suggest somebody like Moonlight Jewel, Delightful, Enchantarium, and Dolly Mixtures, and a whole host of them, because I ain't great. Now I've ruffled the sleeve to the right size, I'm going to pin it into the armhole and then I'm hand stitching because I couldn't be bothered to get the sewing machine out. It's behind a whole load of stuff, and it means tidying the desk, and needs quick job. 10 days, guys. 10 days I had to do this. Sleeves are in. I'm going to attach the skirt. My method for attaching something rather than ruffling it is pin it at the centre, pin the ends to the end, and then halve it and pin at the halfway point in between, and then halve it again, and halve it again, halve it again, until it's all pinned, and then you can just stitch away. Now we get to poke the little armholes out and set it all the right way. I'm going to give her a little test fit on my mannequin doll and see where I need to put the little press studs at the back and how far down to sew so that she can get her bum through, because they got nice big booties. I was going to make some stays to go with this, but it was looking a bit too much, so I cut it down and I'm making a fancy belt instead. So this is a piece of faux leatherette. It's got a fair bit of texture to it, and the plan is to make it so it snaps at the front with one of these buckles from ISO Fordal, and it again didn't quite go to plan, but we made it work. So the plan was to have it pinned on the one side at the front and then have a press stud at the other side so it fastened at the front. But I realised that the press studs that I had were far too big for what I had cut out. So I'm just going to snap it in half at the back and make it join at the back instead. I always neglect shoes. Most of my dolls are barefoot because I don't like making shoes. But for this I thought, no, we'll crack out the airbrush, the dreaded airbrush. It always clogs up, it hates me. The shoes have had a coat of gesso to prime them, and then so I don't lose the detail, we've got the airbrush out. so you didn't have to see the screaming, the tears, the crying. Here they are finished, and the airbrush has now been unclogged and cleaned and will be put away until the next time I have a mad moment. And now for the reason why I wanted to use the bloody airbrush in the first place. I just wanted to torture myself further by painting every little squiggly detail on the boot. Squiggly detail on the boot. But it was worth it. Look at those. I'm pretty chuffed with those. I've dry brushed the faux fur bits at the top, and yeah, everything else has had a nice highlight and a low light and some shadowing painted on. Back to my old Warhammer 40k painting figures back in the day. Now to put the UV resin on her eyes. And so she's got nice shiny eyes. I don't like painting eye shines on them because sometimes it contradicts where the sun's coming from when you're taking photos. So if you use the UV resin, it domes the eyeball and it means that the light shines on it naturally. This time when ordering hats, I looked at how big they were. Clever me. So let's decorate it, make it a little bit more fancy. This is my stash of paper flowers that I've got from Hobbycraft and other various craft stores. And I'm just going to stick them on using some Yoo-hoo glue because that's nice and quick to dry. Because I am impatient and I'm on a deadline. I've got things to do. I've got to get here and get it done quick. Oh, and I found this little wicker basket in my stash of random doll stuff that I've got, so gonna use some more of those paper flowers, stuff them in the basket and make it look like she's gathering roses and stuff. How cute. So everything's together. The last thing we need to do is shove her in the dress and get her ready. So I've decided that her name is Esther, as a lot of the music that I'm using from YouTube's library is by a lady called Esther Abrami. And this piece of music is called Esther's Waltz. So let me know what you think of Esther down below. And it would really, really help if you were to like, share, subscribe, all of that stuff. I would really love to hear from you. I update my community tab quite regularly. I update my Instagram regularly, and I would love to hear from you to see what you want to see more of in the future. If you've got any big themes that you think I should have a go at, I'd be really interested to hear. Thank you so much for staying, and I shall see you in the next one.